Hello, happy Tuesday. This is Darren Roberts, Master Trainer at Impact Training Corporation and the Abundance Accelerant. Welcome to the Tuesday Tickle and Tick, show number 9. Today we're talking secondary spend for a win-win for you and your customer. I'm actually here in New Zealand. I've just flown today from Adelaide into Auckland, and I've got 3 days of training with 3 different groups over the next 3 days, all over New Zealand, which I'm pretty excited about. But coming through the international terminal, then we go through customs and we go through the area where we have some duty-free purchasing, which we're able to do. And there were lots of people on my flight that were excited to jump in and spend some money through duty-free. So not only do they pay for the flight, they also pay for some goodies through duty-free because they get a bit of a discount. So they pay more money and they leave the terminal feeling like they've got more value because they've got some extra goodies in their hands. And I want to talk to you and teach you, how do you do that within your business? You know, most businesses are so scared to promote or talk about anything apart from their primary spend, with the fear of missing out on their primary spend, that they're always running just over broke. I'm going to teach you today why secondary spend is so important, because what it does, it gives you a strong USP. It actually will increase the value that your consumers feel. It actually will increase the conversion of your primary spend, which most people don't expect. It'll increase experience from your customers or your members. It'll increase your income and it'll increase your retention. You know, it's interesting that I have this conversation with you in New Zealand, because it was a couple of years ago where I presented and had incredible success with secondary spend in the hospitality industry. I was asked to come over and do some work for a gentleman who owned restaurants and nightclubs, and the challenge he was having in his restaurant was that once the main meals were delivered to his customers, the staff wouldn't go back to that table. So therefore, the customers weren't spending any more than just the main meal. So the pressure for him and his staff was to turn over those tables 3 or 4 times every table every night, so that he's got a big enough customer base spending money on main meals that he gets achieving what he wants to do out of the business. Now, I said that put a lot of pressure on inquiries and leads and marketing, but also on his staff as well. So what we did is we flipped it around. And as I trained them, I taught them how to be seen as experts. Now, you get seen as experts by teaching the customer something they don't know. The fact is, once you're seen as an expert, over half the things that you suggest, the customer will take. So we went through a customer care and a secondary spend training with his team. So we taught his team to be seen as expert. They were teaching the customers where the wines came from, or where the meats came from, or which wines go with which meats. Then, because they were then seen as experts, they started to make suggestions. So for instance, once they were seen as an expert, they would go to the table partway through the main meals. They go, oh, listen, I told you that Merlot would go really well with that red wine. Everyone enjoying their dinner? Fantastic. Hey, listen, leave room for dessert because we've got my favorite strawberry cheesecake. And then they'd walk off. So they just made a suggestion after being seen as an expert. Of course, over half the table would then purchase dessert. Not necessarily strawberry cheesecake, but some sort of dessert. Then the staff member would come back through dessert. Oh, I've noticed you've got strawberry cheesecake and a few different varieties. Fantastic. So listen, what's it going to be tonight, guys? Going to be coffees and liqueurs, or just coffees tonight? So very assumptive, good suggestion, good alternate choice. So some, over half of his customers were purchasing desserts and coffees, and some ports and Baileys and whatever else. So instead of the pressure of having to have lots and lots of clientele every night, the owner was happy to have those customers stay there all night because they kept spending money. So that's good for the business. But the surprising thing was, the feedback from the customers was that they had a great experience, a better experience than they had previously. So they spent more money and got greater value, which is what secondary spend is all about. So how do we do that within your business? Well, of course, you'll have your primary spend, but then you need to decide on some secondary spend. I just presented this at Filex about secondary spend last week, which is the largest fitness and health convention in the Southern Hemisphere. So maybe in the fitness industry, it could be heart rate monitors or nutrition products or personal training or retail or merchandise, weight loss challenge. Could be lots of things you use as secondary spend. So a couple of tips of how you implement secondary spend into your business. Firstly, make sure it's part of the culture. Now, as you know, culture is an action. If you can't take a photo of it, it's not an action. So we need to give our staff free use of the secondary spend opportunities and then ongoing discounted benefits as well. Maybe it's their birthday or they've done a good job and you reward them with free access to the secondary spend, a free massage or a heart rate monitor or whatever the case might be. The next part is to make sure that secondary spend is pre-framed through your entire sales process. You can't just leave it to the end. It must be pre-framed over the telephone, must be pre-framed when you're face-to-face through qualification, through the tour, which I'll talk about shortly, and of course, the price presentation. The next thing is to make sure that you're suggesting and getting decisions on secondary spend before you ask for the primary sale. The old days of McDonald's selling a burger and then upselling with, would you like fries with that? They're gone. Now it's about packaging it all together into one package for great value or making sure we've got secondary spend before primary spend. The great thing about the customer deciding on secondary spend before primary spend is that if they know that the secondary spend is only available for members and they choose to take it, they've already decided to be a customer or a member of yours. And that's before you even present your primary product, which means your conversion of the primary product is outstanding. What we suggest and we train our clubs to do is to do a GAC, G-A-C, a giveaway cafe. It's part of the tour of your facility or your services where you would have member-only benefits. So let's use a fitness example. It could be, hey Mary, this is our members-only benefits area. We call it a giveaway cafe. It's all these great things that new members of our club get to benefit from. You know, we've already spoken about the importance of wearing a heart rate monitor so you're training at the right intensity. Well, you get 30% off a heart rate monitor. You also get 30% off personal training and you get 30% off our nutritional pack to get started as well. So Mary, which of these would you want to take today? Now again, Mary knows they're for members only. So she says, I'll take whatever, a massage, the nutrition pack, whatever she says, she's already mentally decided to be a member. And she's already starting to use that secondary spend as well. So that makes selling easy, doesn't it? We're just being seen as an expert and then making suggestions. Then you could also do that in a price presentation. So for instance, you would present your secondary spend opportunities before your primary spend. Let's say it was back in the price presentation after the tour. Hey Mary, there's a couple of ways of going that would really work well to fast track that weight loss for you and start training at our club. Before we get into that, as a new member of the club, you get some great benefits. You know, we've spoken about your heart rate monitor. We've also spoken about those 3 sessions of personal training and the nutrition pack. Well, all of that together is usually valued at $300. But today as a new member, you get to take that away for just $99. Now you'd want to take advantage of that, wouldn't you? If Mary says, yes, I'll take that, well, great. She again has decided to be a member. Then you can go and present your primary spend. Worst case scenario, she says, oh, listen, can I get started at your club? Can I be your customer without that initial $99? Oh, listen, Mary, if I could get you started without that $99, would you get started straight away? And if she says yes, she's again decided to purchase your primary product. So it's a win-win situation. Remember, they pay more and get greater value. They walk away back in their cars, not only being a customer of your business, but with all these other goodies to play with as well. So there's a few things for you to go and implement straight in your business. If you're a business that maybe is a sole operator and you don't have some of these extra secondary spends in your business, then create them or find local businesses in a similar situation and do a cross-promotional opportunity, maybe a profit share relationship so you can both benefit from it. So the last thing from me is that we have a free ebook that we're happy for you to have. So it's called Make More Sales with these 7 questions. So if you'd like our free ebook, just type in the comments, yes, please, and I'll make sure I get that ebook to you as well. You guys have a great Tuesday. I'm going to have a good few days here in New Zealand. I'll see you next week for the Tuesday Tickle and Tick. Bye.